Hi guys, so I wasn't planning on bringing you any players until the new year, but Hex is showing some really bullish signs at the moment. If you're a real OG in Distowaves or you follow me on Twitter for a while, I mean, I was talking about Hex way back at the start of December, even back in November time, I was talking about Hex. Our first trade was initiated in November when we returned to this initial order block, and then another trade initiated as we returned back down to it. Hex has been really, really great to trade for me. I'll explain why it's so great to trade in a second, but yeah, it respects initial orders really well because of the way that it encourages whales to be in the market. And whales in a market like this are super, super easy to read. As you can see, this pump. One thing I've talked about with you guys a lot is order blocks. Massive pump up here. The consolidation that occurs just before the pump is where the orders actually happen. The majority of the buy orders, whoever this whale that pushed price up, the majority of the buy orders happen in this region here, especially inside this high here. Anything below this high is just going to be a shit ton of orders that someone's been stacking up. And you would think that most of the volume comes in these big green candles, but that's actually not the case. These big green candles just represent that there's not a lot of selling volume, and that's why it's so easy for the profit price to go upwards. In here, there's a lot of buying and selling volume, and the reason that's good for a whale is that if he's getting a lot of people pushing price down, it means that he can buy. Price gets pushed down, buy some more. Price gets pushed down, buy some more, and that's why you see quite weird price action when a whale's buying because they'll entice the market to get into sells, and they'll be buying up all down here, and that's what pushes the price up. And what you often see is that the whale will want price to. It's nice to think about market as John D. Wyckoff describes it as the composite man. The fact that there's one man behind the market controlling it. So it's a nice way to get an idea of how price works. Thinking of it that way. So returning back down this order block zone, just from my intuition in the markets, I know that the majority of this whale's orders happened in this sell before you buy candle. And as you can see from the movement away, it's quite clear to me that it was this movement down here, which contained most of the whale's orders when he sold to buy. It's quite a common thing we see in Forex, where they'll sell, take out liquidity in order to buy up. It's really, really common. So I knew that we were going to see good reactions away from here. I called this out. We saw a nice, I believe that's a 70% pump, 90% pump, well, almost 100% actually. So that was a lovely trade we took, and then we came back down into this zone, reacting off the 50% equilibrium, 50% obviously being a massive number in price, 50% of the range, 50% of the order block, 50% of anything. We'll almost always see some sort of reaction from it. So 50% of the order block, we saw a lovely reaction away again. And I actually traded all of my hex out of this account. I had a tiny bit left over from down here. There was another account that I had more in that I purchased in here. And I literally just logged into this account and realized my hex, I have 2,000 hex now, or I have 2,000 hex, sorry, which is now worth like 0.2 ETH, which is nice. And it's like when you go to your pockets when you're younger and you find like 20 quid, except it's fucking crypto money. Yeah, it's quite funny. So we had a trade from down here. What we saw at the moment is it took out this high, and all of this is in here is a Wyckoff schematic. I won't go into Wyckoff schematics too much. It's super, super technical, but it's super, super bullish. And as you can see, this daily candle is a fucking green dildo. This is beautiful, especially for the end of a Wyckoff schematic. So we'll go on to a lower time frame. We can have a look at the charts. Very clear high and low of the range, and then showing intent and showing intent again. And as you can see, all of these lows here are being respected, which is really nice to see. Low not taken, low not taken, and low not taken, and low not taken. So as you can see, price is just moving upwards, not taking out any lows, only showing an intent to go upwards, which is beautiful, really, really, really bullish. This is also a bull flag, and there's some sort of golden EMA. I'll talk about the technical stuff over on Alex's channel. Some sort of golden cross bullshit happening down here. I don't know, crypto nerds talking about it, but yeah, basically everything is looking super bullish. The reason I like this setup so much personally is because this accumulation is something we see in Forex, so I can take a really nice trade from it. You can look at this and try and work out where the order block is. The last order block is the last buy before you sell before a big move. So over here, the last order block would be this. On a larger time frame, it would be this. So our two invalidation points, our first point of invalidation would be here. That's where I'll start to look to get out of the trade, just because this is a really nice bit of consolidation before we move upwards. If you go down to the 5 minute, it'll probably look even nicer. Yeah, beautiful consolidation, very, very clearly manipulated. Huge candles to the downside, nice selling before you buy, and then huge upside candle. Yeah, really, really nice. So below this level, I'll be looking to get out of the trade. I don't believe we're going to return to this level. If we do, then we want to see this level hold. We do not want to see this low taken. Where I definitely 1,000% look to get out of the trade is below here and here. So these two levels, I definitely do not want to see taken. There is a chance we come down here and grab liquidity and then move upwards. It's unlikely, but that is a possibility. If we start breaking these levels, then it's just that price wants to go downwards. Price should not come down and break these levels if we are bullish in this current trade setup. So I would probably tell you guys to get into entries now. NFA DYOR. I'm not a financial advisor, but personally, I will be looking for entries now. Worst case scenario, looking at maybe a 12% loss. And obviously, we're looking for Hex to go to $1, which is around about 107, maybe it's 200%. I'm not 100% sure. I'll mark it out quickly. So from here to $1, yeah, about 200%, which is a beautiful trade. And the reason I really like Hex is just because of how safe it is. I'm not sure if I've already explained this in the video, but it's basically one of the first staking coins. It's super, super safe returns. You have time offering 300,000% returns. Hex offers you 40% returns. And for someone with a lot of money, that is insane. You do not get that in centralized finance. The Dow Jones does 7% a year. 40% is unheard of. And it just does the very, very, very classic staking mechanism, which is if more people are staked, then there's not enough supply for the market, so therefore price will go up. If less people are staked, they'll be able to give the stakers higher interest due to less people staking, so you get more rewards for staking. It's basically done in a way that always encourages people to stake. And especially with big whales in the market, they can manipulate it so that they buy their tokens and stake down here, push price up, their staking ends, cool, let's push price back down, buy their tokens and stake, push price back up. So not only are they taking advantage of the staking rewards, they're also taking advantage of the fact that they're buying down here and making 200% return on their tokens, and they're also getting staking rewards, so all their staking rewards are getting 200% return on as well. That's why it's so lucrative and so good to trade, because when whales are manipulating a market like this, you can, if you have a lot of experience in financial markets, you can follow them really easily, taking trades off stuff like this order block. And seeing that something like a wick-off accumulation occurring is a really, really good sign of price going upwards. Another thing is that when Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing bad, that usually means that Hex is doing well, as it's an alternative. It's quite a safe place to put your money due to the very good staking returns. And especially where Hex is right now and how bullish it's looking, I mean, I just think it's going to be an amazing buy. This in here is a crazy amount of liquidity, a stupendous amount of liquidity. Liquidity resides in consolidations. As I say, when you have this big move up, most of the volume is not in this actual move. All this is there's not enough selling pressure to drive it down. In here is all the volume. Look at this fucking candle here. In here is all of the volume. Maybe you're not seeing as much movement, but there's a huge amount of buying and a huge amount of selling, and it just makes price rebound in between and load up on orders. And then when it does decide to blow because of all the volume, it blows really hard. So this sounded kind of sus, I'm not gonna lie. So sorry. This right here, huge consolidation. People getting out of their orders. Here they were consolidating in order to buy, and here they're consolidating in order to sell. So loads of orders were left here, and then not enough buy-side liquidity, and as you see, price comes back down to the order block. So when we do take this out, due to the amount of liquidity in the market here, when we start breaking this all-time high, I think we're going to see Hex blow off completely. I think it's going to go absolutely nuts. Probably going to go to $1 as a conservative estimate. So that's why I think this is a really good buy. I'm going to be entering trades now, and as I said, invalidation points, looking for down here as a invalidation point, and these two are definite invalidation points. If you comes down to here, definitely be looking to get out the trade. So risking about 15% with a 200% return, which is a really, really good trade. I'll keep you guys updated as we continue. And make sure you check out Alex at Crash Trading. He is a massive Hexagon. This is the Hex NFT. There's about 83 released at 0.85 floor. If I'm not, maybe 86 released at 0.85 floor. My memory's a little bit, it's not as fucking good as it used to be. But yeah, so but there's 5,555 of these NFTs that are releasing. They have something to do, I think, something to do with Hex staking or something like that, which is quite cool. To see Hex moving on to the NFT space is really cool. But Alex is a massive advocate. He's a really, really good leverage trader, and he's a massive advocate for Hex. He's usually calling shorts when everyone else is calling longs. So to see him be really bullish on something is really good. And all his last videos have been about Hex. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the project, have a look at some of his analysis, which is like he's super into the. Obviously, my analysis is very financial markets based, which allows me to get amazing trades when whales are trading. But for like EMA crosses and stuff like that, that's just not me. If you want to see that, go watch Alex's video because he has some great stuff on it. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on Hex, and I'll definitely be entering some more positions soon.